Okay, episode 1, the Frank Gioia Jr. Show. Frank Gioia, Frankie Gioia, also known as Frank Capri. What's what? I got a dear friend of mine here today who I consider family. I've known for 25 years. When I came out here in Arizona, his name is Sonny Fresenda, and I want you to meet Sonny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sonny Fresenda, here in Arizona right now, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Good friend of Frank's. We know each other, like you said, 25 years. It's been a great relationship.
Tell everybody how you became we met in the car business.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
You were a finance director for many years.
Yeah.
Actually, you taught me how to do finance. Took me
Okay.
from a salesman, right?
Yep,
Gave me a
that's
chance
true.
to go into finance.
Yeah.
And then after that, you became an ordained minister
That is correct. Yeah. Back
of
in
the biggest church in one of the biggest churches in the valley, right?
yeah, it's
Across the
probably
country.
probably the fifth largest church in the United States. We'll leave it nameless. You can figure it out. It's here in Arizona. It's the biggest in Arizona. But yeah, I had the opportunity to work for that church, and the senior pastor and I got to be very, very good friends over the years. We still are very good friends today. He's just a great gentleman, and it was awesome to work. I used to joke around at the church saying that it was the Yankee Stadium of churches, because when you work for a big church, you're automatically somebody. You walk around with that lanyard and they see that you work there, and it was kind of cool. I was very blessed to bring a lot of people to Jesus Christ. I was very blessed to be a big part of communities and volunteers. We did some great stuff with the city of Peoria here in Arizona. The chief of police became a good friend of mine at that time as well. It was just a wonderful, wonderful time. And when you work for a church, you kind of watch your P's and Q's when you go out as well. So it's kind of a little different lifestyle, but I enjoyed what I did. I was recruited by the senior pastor. He just liked my personality and knew that I would bring people. And we did some amazing things there. Baptisms went up. At one point, as Frank said, we were in the car business together. I put some car business things into the church that they thought I was a little bit strange doing. In fact, some of the staff thought I was treating the church like a business. When I brought it to their attention what the actual budget was for that church, I said it was actually the business of church. And we proceeded to do a lot of great things at that time. So, yeah, amazing.
If those of you who don't know what a finance director does, when you go into a car dealership, they're responsible for getting you the best deal possible with your loans and stuff like that. And Sonny was one of the best guys to deal with because he had great relationships with all the banks in town, and he was probably one of the best directors in the country.
I was told we were probably our team. I'm not taking all the credit. This was a team we built, and you were part of the team.
We had the number one Chevy store in the country.
We were the number one Chevy
yeah.
store in this country. We also probably had the number one, number two finance department in that corporation. They had roughly, let's call it about 100 dealerships. And we were always number one or two. We had opportunity, and we capitalized on our opportunities.
Today we just got done. Well, I want to give props to the studio that we're here.
Beautiful place.
Summerstar Studios. The owner and the CEO of the studio is Michael Giantonio. He's our executive producer.
Thank you, Michael.
You could just about do anything in this facility. Production, post-production. That's why we're going to come at you with all high quality, higher budget episodes. Hope you enjoy everything that we're doing. Giantonio, we just got done today doing an interview with Vlad TV. He made sure everything was set up, right?
Yeah.
Seamless, professional.
Everything went super well.
It was a pleasure dealing with Vlad and Giantonio and the group that we have here.
Yeah.
Talk about where you grew up, because I think we grew up in very similar.
Very similar.
Just two different. Well, I know your neighborhood, Bensonhurst.
Yeah.
But tell everybody where you come from, how you grew up and stuff.
Well, I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Went to a little school, Catholic school called St. Ephraim's, 1st through 8th grade. So I was even an altar boy in
Catholic school.
Catholic school, yeah, yep, Catholic school. I was an altar boy for a period of time back in the early 60s. I think it was 1964. The Mass was still in Latin at that time, so we actually had to respond in Latin. Other than that, I grew up in a traditional Italian family, not knowing that some of my family members led a life of crime. So naturally, as I got a little older, I automatically went into a little bit of a life of crime myself.
Which was pretty normal. You know?
Pretty normal,
Yeah.
you know. There's what was amazing back in the day. I remember cases and cases of goods, if you will, down in my mom's basement. Everything from diamond rings to watches to clothing to everything, which again just seemed perfectly normal by our
Somebody went on a
standards.
score, right?
Yeah, I had an uncle and my dad. They had some connections out there at Kennedy Airport, and we would just drive out there and pick up a few boxes.
They
And
fell off the truck.
they
Yeah.
fell off the truck,
Yeah.
exactly. And from there, we had all kinds of things in our basement. So I thought that's how everybody lived, you know.
Right, because even when I was telling Vlad, right, that you don't realize you're doing anything wrong because it's part of the culture.
It's what you know.
You grew
It's
up around
all you
crime,
know.
and
Yeah, it's
if you want to take it to the next step, you keep trying to prove yourself
yeah. Well,
to get attention, right?
I had that in too because of my uncle Sal. My uncle Sal was part of the Colombo family actually, and
He's a big guy.
was a made guy. He was known as he had a couple of different names. He's passed on now, so I'll talk about him. But he was known as Sally Banner, Sally Penglass, Sally Paint Glass. He had a body shop on 18th Avenue. He ran the auto glass place there on 18th Avenue. So I did have it in there. He had me do some small things that my mom was pretty much against. So it was a good introduction into that. If I chose to continue with that, I could have, but I went different directions.
You were hooked up with the Bonannos at one point, right?
Me personally, no, no. But what my uncle was part of was there was a book that came out, and it was called the Donnie Brosco book, and that's when he was going to prison, and he called what you would call a sit down or a meeting with my grandmother, his mom, my mom, all his sisters and brothers at his house. It was kind of an interesting scene, if you would. He's sitting there on his easy chair, and he's got his guma. Clipping.
Explain to everybody what a
Okay,
gourmand
if you
is.
don't know what that is, it's a girlfriend to a mob guy who doesn't mind that he's married, and and obviously my poor aunt didn't seem to know any better, but that was his gumata.
But now there's certain nights that are set aside for the gourmand and certain nights for the wife.
Yeah, I don't
What was
remember
it,
the
Friday or
format. I believe it was Friday was the gumata and
Saturday
Saturday
was the wife,
was
yeah.
the wife
I
out,
remember
if I
back in the day.
remember correctly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
believe
gotta
that's
think
how it
back.
went. I'm
Yeah.
getting old, so I try to remember as much as I
I gotta ask
can.
my old man to see if he remembers.
Yeah. So
I gotta
anyway,
ask him when my mother's not there.
it's more than likely that's the perfect timing. Yeah. But yeah, back to that. He had that meeting with us because at that time he was going to court, and every day they were on the news, and my uncle was there. Donnie wrote about him in the book. I appear in the book once or twice, and we'll do another show, and I'll bring the book and go over a few things that we did. But yeah, he wound up going to prison after that. And he had asked me, he said, "Look, there's no reason for you to stick around here in case of anything. There's going to be some stuff going on in the streets. Why don't you head out to Arizona?" And obviously, I came here, and my mom was here, so I connected with her again. That lasted a little bit, but yeah, I could have chose that life if I wanted to. I just
and then
he didn't want me around,
and
I
then
guess.
happily married for how long now? 20?
This month will be 29 years. We know each other
Wow.
for 35 years. My wife Denise. When I came out here to Arizona, I met her here, and we've been together pretty much ever since. Yeah, she kind of saved me, and I think I helped her a little bit along the line.
So me and Sonny, I call him Uncle Sonny.
Yep, you can all call me Uncle Sonny.
So that's how we're gonna refer to. You're gonna see Sonny a lot on the podcast, in and out. Uncle Sonny. Your brother-in-law. We always kid around with each other. He has a habit of saying "Manon," which is Madone. Manon.
Model.
Right. Everything
Yeah.
he says after he says it, Manon.
Model.
So
Yeah,
we'll
it's
kid
kind
around
of
with
like an explanation point.
yeah, like Manon.
Yeah, he's a fun character. He's very entertaining. His name is Dominic. Owns a local restaurant here as well. Does some entertaining in the restaurant, and he's a blast to hang out with. Trust me, you guys will love him.
We got Carmine. We got Michael. You know what I like about this community we have out here now, right? And we got all Italians hanging out. I still feel like I got the same camaraderie than I was back when I was back east, right?
Absolutely.
Well, we'll get together for pizza, we'll get together here, there. We probably got about what, 10, 15 guys, you know?
Yeah.
And we're always getting together and stuff like that. Just good times, you know?
We share a lot of meals together, and that's the Italian tradition. Everything's done over a meal.
and that's what you really need. Because when I look back years ago, the things that I miss about hanging out with my old friends, whatever, is the camaraderie. But if you got friends out here with the same beliefs, you come from the same place, you talk the same language,
Same cloth.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, we do. We all
It's
have
better.
a very similar background.
It's better because you don't have to worry about getting killed or going to jail. Right?
Yeah, at least you know your friends are your friends out here. They really do.
All right, so this podcast, my vision with this podcast is not to be segmented into just one specific thing.